What up, guys? So today I just had to try out the grenade launcher on lethal. This is an artificer version, but I figured the grenade launcher is strong enough to take into lethal. You know, it's a very strong weapon. Yes, these are the perks I'm using. Nothing really of note. I mean, I do get extra primary damage, which is nice. And I guess target lock is pretty good as well. But yes, the scan perks here for extra damage, they're definitely very helpful. Now, the thing is, the scan area is a little bit shorter, I believe, or it's a little bit smaller for some extra damage, and I also believe that it lasts a tad bit, you know, it's definitely a tad bit shorter as well. So so it's shorter and smaller, but you get extra damage. And I am using the blocking chainsword here, basically just for fun. But you get so much damage out of the grenade launcher scan combo. I just felt, hey, you know what, I'll get some blocking practice in. That was probably a mistake. Just one moment I will point out that it's kind of rough to have a blocking weapon. But hey, I've gotten pretty good with blocking. I have a lot of fun with it. The tactical is a good class to have with a strong blocking weapon, but I definitely wanted to more like focus on the grenade launcher. Here was a pretty good moment for it. That said, as you've seen, there was a scan I had there where I wasn't really able to see what I was even scanning because there's just too much, like, there's way too many strangler mines or whatever they are. There was just a lot of visual pollution. But still, here's some nice grenade launcher power right there. The grenade launcher is just very strong. However, this is lethal, so sometimes on lethal, it doesn't matter how strong you are. There is going to be something that is a tough fight. And this beginning part of the operation really started off sweaty. I'm trying to create some distance. Yeah, I was trying to create some distance to land a grenade there. But I get pieced up right there. Luckily, I was able to get the execution right after that. Which, you know, I did get them pretty low, but I took my eyes off of the one major there for like a second. Yeah, there's the team perks right there. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it is a sniper bulwark tactical team. It's not my first choice of teams I would take into this operation, but I figured, you know what? We have a bulwark. They probably have invigorating icon. However, even though these two players played their best, I do believe this was, you know, the beginning of their lethal journey. Yes, and as you've seen there, the grenade launcher just gets rid of the Lictor practically instantly. And I do try my best to kind of switch between modes here, because honestly, I like the auto bolt rifle for the rifle part. The grenade launcher, even though it's good, and you know, I like kind of switching in between the two. The grenade launcher is, you know, it's a grenade launcher. I really just want to use the bolt rifle part of the weapon just because it feels a little bit better. And not to mention, I'm not even the best with the grenade launcher. This is my first real grenade launcher operation. And there, I just absolutely whiff on the Hellbrute. I get like a couple grenades. I think if I landed all of them, I would have had him at like half health pretty much easily. But he charged right in at my teammate, and I did not guess that was going to happen. I definitely should have been a little bit more patient. But still, I was still able to get some damage there. Now, this is rough. We still have the Hellbrute pretty healthy. I do have a grenade there for this enraged major. I believe this is enraged for the chaos when they have the purple aura on their head. Rubric Marines can be tough to take down, but honestly, I feel super good whenever I do take them down. There, I was like, you know what, let me just put some grenade launcher into the Hellbrute, get some damage. Also, by the way, if you've seen the Hellbrute glowing yellow after that perfect block, that is not from scan. That is a debuff from the perfect block that makes the enemy have a little bit extra damage. I don't know the exact number, but I do know it's an enemy debuff. We covered this before. We covered it a long time ago, but I'm going to start pointing out those moments a little bit more often because I feel like it gets overlooked. And yes, I do have people in my comments also mention it. I've had people ask me what it is, and people try to point it out. So yeah, see right there, he's just flashing yellow a little bit. But I just take 2 shots right at the end of this Hellbrute fight. Very, very poor execution of the block there. And then, yes, this bulwark, that pretty much solidified it for me right there. didn't know how to use their invigorating icon. However, they do make one big play with it, so I will give them that. They are learning, they are improving. But still, I gotta admit, when you go into lethal, you should really know your way around your equipment, your perks, your gear. You should definitely know your loop. I've been trying out a lot of different stuff recently, and I'm definitely surprised of how much you can use in this game to, you know, make your build feel unique from, you know, other builds with the same class and stuff. You know, I always point that out. Basically, this time I'm just using the grenade launcher. Tactical's probably the hardest one to stretch, because I feel like no matter what, Tactical's build is always going to be scan, ranged, and melee, you know? But, like, I feel like certain builds can have, like, different approaches to the combat. Like, for example, Assault and Sniper. I feel like Assault also has a lot of... Oh, yeah, by the way, look at this nice grenade launcher executions right here. I was able to get out a big mob right there. But yes, the grenade launcher is probably the one thing that makes me feel like, oh, this is like a unique tactical build. But yes, the Sniper has like a melee build you can make with it. Like, well, it's kind of a melee build. Sniper can get good use out of Shadow Stab. But, dude, I was having this issue with Terminators all day, dude. I was not getting the scan off. And with blocking weapons, I just don't have enough practice against Terminators with blocking weapons yet. So, yes, I was definitely having a little bit of a hard time here. And, yes, I also have no grenades. So, that was two issues there. One, me not being the best with blocking, and then the me not keeping track of how many grenades I had. Definitely put me down to one here. But I figured, hey, you know what? Maybe the Bulwark will invigorating icon me, maybe. But yes, I've been playing Assault actually quite a bit recently, and I want to learn some of the jump pack dodges. He also has for Thunderhammer, you can have like two separate, like basically perk trees, right? And you can totally switch up the approach for combat for Assault, because one of the first perk rows is either the sprinting attacks get buffed or the charging attacks get buffed. Now here's the big play from the Bulwark. Reses me, I have a stim, so I pop the stim, boom, I have no more mortal wound. But yeah, so I just kind of appreciate it. I just kind of appreciate the game trying my best to stretch the uniqueness of the classes and what builds they have. But I think the grenade launcher is as plain as the grenade launcher is. I guess you could consider it plain, or maybe as much as you've seen it, or as meta it is. Maybe meta can be boring to you. I still feel like it's unique. I think the auto bolt rifle is a fun weapon to use, but I can't really say that a auto rifle is super unique. But an auto rifle with a grenade launcher is pretty unique. And yeah, I don't know. I just enjoy right now. I just enjoy trying out different builds on lethal, trying out different perks. Yeah, definitely trying out different perks to make sure that, you know. Oh yeah, look at that spore mine spawn, man. That could have been rough. For lethal, yeah, here I was trying to say, hey, come down here, we'll get these disc shamans on a ramp, and we will be able to grenade launcher them. At least that was my idea. But luckily I was able to just grenade launcher him there anyway, because he was right next to the pillar. But yes, there's a lot of perks that I'm starting to appreciate more, but there's also some perks that are like, that make it hard to just like pick. Like the perks where it's like, you need like 15 consecutive like kills to get like an equipment charge back or whatever. It's like, sometimes I just feel like I get to 13 or 12 and then it's just like not enough and it just doesn't work, so I don't know. So like I'm definitely still figuring out some builds. But I imagine when the Biovore starts to hit the game, that there's going to be a lot to change with some builds. There's going to be a lot to switch up. And I do believe once, you know, we get new weapon perks and stuff, there's just going to be a lot to try out. With the grenade launcher, I got to say I enjoy it. But the tactical still just has a rough time, I feel like, keeping their contested health up. And part of that is because I'm not using the team perk for the contested health, which I believe I should be using 100%. So now that I'm actually looking through the footage here for this lethal run, I believe what actually kind of killed my contested health was the fact that I was using aligned aim. Now, sometimes with blocking, it can kind of be hard to get the... get your contested health back with it, at least compared to, gun strikes. Because blocking, you kind of have to set up, and then, it's still risky going for melee attacks. Some big grenades right there, which is nice. But here, I do believe I go down because right now I believe the sniper is trying to do the terminal thing. I was hoping the sniper was going to take out this disc shaman, but he goes camo. And it's like, sniper, this is your job. Take out the flying guy with one shot. What are you doing? So then I go for the auto bolt rifle on the disc shaman, and you know, it's an enraged major, that disc shaman right there. And the auto bolt rifle that I'm using is Artificer. So I knew it was a bad matchup. And right here I go down, which is rough. It was honestly a deserved, me going down was deserved there. But this sniper is trying everything they can to, you know, go to camouflage, pick me up, and I'm trying everything I can to basically clear this operation. So I've dropped down a scan, making sure that I can get rid of as many majors as I can get. And with that clear, we were able to push it to the last part of this operation. That said, I gotta be honest, as a team, we went down a little bit too much. I went down quite a bit because I am using aligned aim and not the contested health perk that helps Tactical keep his health high, which would have been nice. But I am getting a lot of damage out of my grenade launcher, so hey, there's that. And so here for the Sorcerer, I was trying to be careful about because the Sorcerer's kind of just hanging out in that corner. And I figured, you know what, that's kind of tough. Yes, I do pick up the stim. And yes, we do have a teammate go down. This is I'm pretty sure this is the second teammate who went down for the 5-minute respawn time. But big Melta, big Sorcerer execution right there, I guess. The Melta for the Sorcerer has been like my favorite thing. It's weird. See, I am getting rid of Sorcerers with the Melta pretty consistently now. Whenever I see the Melta, I'm like, oh, okay, this can one-shot an Extremis. The Sorcerers just wait around for it. They're super easy to hit with the Melta. And it's nice that I was actually able to, you know, get used to using the Melta. Now, that Terminator, he was a pain, but we managed to, you know, managed to isolate the Terminator and then just spam grenades at him and did the same thing there. And then here we have another mob spawn, but I don't have any grenades. That's the one thing with this build that I did not anticipate is this moment right here. Without grenades, all I have is really blocking when it comes to big damage. And I would also need, you know, to stack my blocking up to 3. Now, right there, I get down to lethal damage because I'm not 100% sure. I just think I ate a lot of shots from the Demon Host, which is rough. I do have my back turned to him, so it makes sense. I was really just trying to focus on taking out as many enemies as I could. Now there, I'm trying to escape because I knew this Disc Shaman was basically behind me. And in my head, I'm thinking, wow, I really should have had a fencing weapon because a fencing weapon here would be nice. Would be a nice way to avoid getting any chip damage. So still here, I was like, okay, let's just try to isolate these guys. If the Disc Shaman goes for an attack, at least I have perfect dodging. There, I just get the block. I just get the block because I knew I was able to do it. But I can't get any punishment off of it because I can't get a gun strike because I'm not using fencing. And this is where I had both my teammates go down. As soon as I seen the circle was gone here, I said, you know what, let's just go for it. And yes, I go to take out the altar. It was a little bit of an awkward position there. And we managed to complete the lethal operation right at the end. That was a rough one. Luckily, I did a lot of damage with the grenade launcher, but I did not have a good build for it. I definitely should have had fencing. Even though, hey, I gotta say, I did a lot of damage with the blocking stuff, but I didn't have the contested health perk to make it worth investing into melee attacks, because any chip damage is just gonna keep stacking. So, yeah. Contested health is way more important than 5% range damage. However, I do hit basically 20k range damage with the grenade launcher. Not too bad. And I did have the clutch play right at the end to seal the deal for this lethal run.